There's never-ending content at KCP.
What are you really looking to show?
Our aggression and our mechanical ability.
All right, what is going on? This is Mikey, the host of the Pioneers Podcast. Joining with me today are two special guests. One you already know, the Chief Operations Officer, Alex Laughlin, and LJ Browne, the founder and the Chief Gaming Officer. So we're going to get right into it, all right? The meat and potatoes of today's episode. Okay, so if it's put into the title, I'm sure people clicked on this because they want to know about this information, is the Esports signing, the teams that we signed onto KCP. So we had a Gears of War team and a Rocket League team. Now, LJ, I have a quick question for you, man. What made you want to get into Gears of War? Did you see something? Did somebody come your way? What was kind of the process behind getting into Gears of War?
Okay, so, Gears of War is a community that I've been, a part of since, I want to say, maybe 2016, 2017. And okay. It's very similar to the Call of Duty community, which is the community that I kind of grew up in and, playing wagers and, playing with those guys and girls. And so, Gears of War always stuck out to me. And it was the first esport that I had actually participated in, being part of an org. We had signed a team and they got third a couple years ago. The org was called like Bot Empire or something like that. But it's a community. So the first thing that popped out to me was the community. The community's great. And they're very tight knit. Yeah. But it's a very competitive community. Everybody knows each other. Everybody loves each other, and it's very competitive. So that was the first thing. The community's great. And then the second thing was the league itself, the circuit itself, and the platform that the players have. The coalition. And the coalition, they've revamped everything that they've been doing. Better broadcasts, better prize pools, better organization representation. Hopefully we can get some skins in game here soon. So. But those are the things that popped out to me at first. Just the community, and then the platform itself, and then the players. Obviously, the players are people that I've watched for years and years and years. A couple of them have been around since maybe like 2014, 2013. I know Kyle's probably the guy that's probably been playing the longest on the team. Okay. But he's definitely a vet. But the players themselves, with the roster that we got an underdog roster, a roster that had a Cinderella story, getting into the Pro League this year. And they have a lot to prove, and they got a chip on their shoulder, coming into Gears Championships at the end of this month. But, other than that, they're great guys. They're great guys on and off the sticks, and that's one thing that I really wanted to make sure we made a standard here at KCP. Was that we don't want just the most talented raw skilled players in game, but we want guys that come back on Twitter or wherever it may be, Twitch or whatever, to give back to their communities, whether that be giveaways or just hosting their fans or just fan interaction. We wanted good guys off the sticks, as well as on the sticks in game. And that team is the perfect representation of what that looks like. And we've got a great team in those guys, and they're gonna do big things. And they're improving every single day. Every day.
Yeah, without a doubt. And speaking of the Gears of War team in general, I actually got the privilege of speaking to Shock, one of the co-captains and players of Gears of War. I got to briefly speak with him for a little bit, about 5 minutes, ask him a few questions, and actually we're going to play that right here so you guys can get ahead and check that out. Shock, one of the co-leads, co-captains of the Gears of War esports team. I got a quick little question to start off with. How long have you been working with the team, on this Gears team specifically, as of right now?
So this team specifically, I've probably been playing with for going on 2 months now. So right after the last major, we all formed this team and started playing together. So about 2 months.
Okay. Yeah, super cool. Okay. So I'm guessing probably the chemistry is pretty strong right now, going 2 months in.
At first, it was actually bad. We didn't start off too hot on this team, and nothing was really coming together. But as of recent, the past, I'd say 2 or 3 weeks, everything's starting to come together. We're starting to mold together as a team, be on the same page, win consistently against top teams, finished off Pro League strong. So as of late, yeah, our chemistry's been pretty solid.
Okay, that's awesome, man. So before I dip into these couple questions that I have for you, so people can actually get a little bit of a feeling for the Gears of War team. The majors. So what exactly is the esports major?
So the major, which would have been on LAN, barring the coronavirus pandemic, which is understandable. It's the final of this season is the Gears Online major. So basically, it's North American and Latin American teams all competing together for the first place prize, and us.
Okay.
We're gonna be like sharing the prize with those two regions, while EU has their own region and Asia Pacific also has their own region. So instead of like one big event where all regions compete, it's 4 separate events where each individual regions compete for the final prize.
Okay, and can people just join this, or do you have to kind of qualify for this event?
I think so. It's definitely just pro league teams in the higher bracket, and then you could also qualify through the Challenger series, which would be, I believe, the top 4 Challenger teams from each region, North America and Latin America, but I'm not 100% sure. So I think maybe like 16, 20 teams in total.
Okay, so super cool, man. So with the 2 months of chemistry that you guys have built, how do you guys feel going into this this online major that's coming up in 2 weeks, correct?
Yeah, 2 weeks.
Okay. How do you guys feel going into this?
So at first, I'm gonna be transparent. At first, I wasn't feeling too good. Like, I'm always gonna have confidence in my teammates, but we were kind of struggling at first. But as we continued playing, as we continued to get reps in, do the same thing over and over again, like, we came together. Like I said earlier, we came together, and we've had a great last few weeks of practice. Like, we're actually feeling so confident that we can make a big run in this tournament for sure. Like, we have the names and players to do it, so that's our plan.
Okay, super cool, and that goes right into this next question. With this chemistry that you guys have built, what is something that you're looking to showcase during this major? Like teamwork, aggression. What are you guys really looking to show?
We want to showcase our teamwork more than anything, but we also have players that can pop off at any time. So we just want to show a combination of teamwork, being able to clutch up in any given moment, just being able to get in the setup and just play perfect Gears of War. We just want to be that team that can actually do it all.
Okay, I like that. And then also for some of the other folks out there, why should people come in and tune in and watch you guys play this Gears of War major?
I think the reason that people should come tune in and watch us specifically is because, like, I feel like we bring a lot of hype factor around ourselves. Like, we have some personalities on this team, we have some good players, and we're just fun to watch. Whenever we get going, we are a super fun team to watch. So if you like Gears,
that's awesome, man.
Like, if you like Gears, you'll like watching us when we play at our best.
Okay, hey, too easy, man, too easy. And it's always super cool too, because I was able to tune in and watch a couple of the games the other day, and it's just super cool to see, an esports team repping the organization of the Kansas City Pioneers. It's always cool to watch, and then you see that team's logo up at the top, and you're like, oh my God, this is official. It's a super cool moment. So I got one last question, man, because I know I'm sure some people are probably wondering the same thing. So if you had one thing that you could say to folks that are trying to reach this position and reach a new level of competing, what information do you have for them?
I would say if you're planning on getting into esports and you want to compete in esports, I do highly recommend that you stick to one game and grind it out and get as good as you possibly can at that one game. Put in the practice. You gotta put in extra time. Look at YouTube videos. Watch players that are already playing at that high level, and just try to emulate what they do on a daily basis. I mean, really, it's all about, like, grind pays off. Like, practice makes perfect. So if you just put in the time and effort, and you really have that goal and strive to be the best, like, you can do it. Anybody can do it.
Okay, I like that. So somebody that is specifically trying to join, say, Gears, what tip or advice do you have for them, if you could just spitball one right off the top of the dome?
Yeah, okay, so Gears is it's pretty challenging to get into at first, so what I would say is, for beginners, don't give up. But if you've already been playing and you've already, like, established the basic mechanics and you have those, like, in your arsenal, I would say, man, just do your best to sign up for tournaments, any type of streaming, anything like that, to get your name out there, because Gears is a community where if you have the talent, you will get noticed. So basically, I would say just stream as much as possible, sign up for as many tournaments as possible, get your name out there, post clips on social medias, make YouTube videos, anything like that just to showcase your talent, and just keep grinding to get better, and that should be an easy route in if you have what it takes.
Okay, there it is. All right, I like it. So hope you guys enjoyed this little segment with Shock, the co-captain or co-team lead of the Gears of War. One last thing, can you shout out your Twitter handle real quick?
Yeah, it's at Shock Season, SZN, Shock SZN.
So that was the interview with Shock. Very good man. Haven't watched too much Gears myself, but I actually was able to chime in on a couple of those games that they were playing. I kind of liked it. Like, I watched the map where they were playing District, and I thought that was pretty cool. But I do have a question, and I feel like, Alex, you can definitely chime in on this too. But what goes into, you don't have to go super in detail, but what goes into signing a Gears of War team?
Dude, honestly, just a lot of, you want to be able to hear them out. When you're first kind of talking, it all starts with building a relationship. I'll start there. Because like I said, these guys are, Gears is, it's not the biggest esport. It's nowhere near, your CSGOs, your League of Legends, your Rocket Leagues. So it's about building that relationship with these guys because, they've dealt with, scummy orgs, scummy developers, and people throughout their careers because it's such a small organ. They tend to get taken advantage of a lot of times, whether that be, like I said, from orgs, sponsors, the developers, or whatever that may be. So the first thing that I like to do is build that relationship. We want to we're building a family oriented organization here at Kansas City Pioneers, and so we want to make them feel part of that right off the bat. And so, and then on top of that, I did a lot of, research on these guys. I talked with references that these guys had. I have friends that play in the pro league, that I talk to, like, hey, how are these guys doing? What's your thoughts on these guys? And so I got nothing but great feedback. I've never heard anything negative about any of our Gears of War players. And then, like I said earlier, this team is a team that has a chip on their shoulder, and they're not going to back down from any fight that they have. So very excited to work with these guys.
Oh yeah, and I already know because I've seen it in the video and I've heard them talk, especially in our meetings, that they already feel that family that's been built with KCP. So as soon as they join, like, they felt it immediately. They're like, oh my God, this organization really is a family.
For sure.
Alex, do you have anything else to chime in on the whole, like, what goes into signing an esports team?
Yeah, sure thing, Mikey. So for us, and I know LJ touched on a lot of it, it's first and foremost, obviously, besides the talent, all these guys are pros and incredible at their game, but so much of it is culture first, right? And I know LJ talked about making sure these guys cross-checking their references and making sure these guys will fit in with the culture here, and that's number one for us because we're not just here as an esports org just to compete and win championships, right? It's much more than that. It's creating this family culture where everyone can, whether they're playing in scrims and then they want to come kick it with the rest of our guys or chat it up with the creative team, it doesn't matter. It's all about that family culture here, and we're going to be here for the long term, right? Like, so we want to continue to build not only the right teams but the right environment. So no matter what esport we dive into next, we're always going to have those high standards and find the people that's going to represent what we value and hold really high high praise for ourselves and for the players that we bring on. Okay.
Yeah, no, I'm really excited to continue to watch the Gears team because I liked what I saw so far, so I'm really looking forward to the event that they're getting ready to play in soon. Rocket League. Let's talk about Rocket League. So, I haven't watched a lot of Rocket League, okay, but I watched a couple things. And right off the bat, I can already tell that it seems like a very aggressive game to watch, which is good though. It's aggressively good, I guess you could say. And I'm sure it's probably aggressive to play in. But LJ, what made you want to get into Rocket League, man? How did that come about?
Okay, so Rocket League, there are a few things that stand out immediately that greatly benefit a organization that promotes inclusivity, culture, and community. And so the first thing that really stands out is how fun it is to watch Rocket League and how simple it is to watch it and understand it. Understand, because esports, we all know it's a very new industry. Not everybody understands how most games are played because they're so sophisticated sometimes, but Rocket League is extremely simple and it's fun to watch. It's very exciting. And so that was the first thing, I wanted to get into something that was exciting, fun to watch, easy to understand, and that way we can expand our growth and expand our fan base, because people could turn this on and say, hey, they're just playing soccer with cars. It's going in the goal. We know that if it goes in the goal, they're gonna get a point. And so it was just very simple to understand, and it's very exciting to watch. And then one of the other things that really kind of stands out is the community. You don't, in esports, you don't have anything in any esport unless you are a positive influence in that respective community. And so we're very new to the Rocket League community. We're very new to the Gears of War community as well. But we want to make our presence known, and we want to have a positive effect on both of those communities. Rocket League, obviously it's a little bit bigger. So we have a lot more sources to kind of hit, and a lot more a whole different demographic to kind of hit as well. We want to promote our inclusivity, in our community here in Kansas City, and so those were kind of the first two things that really stood out to us, was the community, and then how fun it is to watch the games. And then after that, it's really just the players themselves. Those guys are they're grinding every single day, all day long, man, and it's really exciting to jump into a meeting with those guys and hear them talk about how bad they want to be winners, how bad they want this, and and then not only hear them talk about it, but them actually doing it. I get to sit there and see these guys put in these hours every day to become some of the best players in the world. And we've got one of the youngest guys in the league, in the RLCSX and in the grid, on our team, with BeastMode. He's 14-year-old, well-spoken kid, and he's a great kid, and he has a lot to fight for, this year, and a lot of people have been kind of speculating on how he's going to perform, and that's a lot of pressure to put on a 14-year-old, and so he stayed nothing but positive through it all, and really, really, really excited to see how he performs in his debut.
Oh yeah, and speaking of Beast Mode, I also got the privilege of speaking to him as well. You can actually see that right here, right now. Get to hear him talk about his team that he's playing with, the chemistry that they've built up, and also he refers to himself as a mechanical player for the team. All right, what's going on here, ladies and gentlemen? This is Mikey here with one of the players from the Rocket League team named Beast Mode. Beast Mode, 14 years of age, and he refers to himself as a mechanical player. Now, I'm not very experienced with all of it, but can you explain to people what mechanical player really means?
To me, a mechanical player is a person or player that can pretty much do anything on the field. Like maybe they can create space for the team or score anywhere on the field, or just be in the right position at all times. Okay.
Yeah, man, when I watch gameplay like Rocket League, it just feels like a very aggressive kind of game, It's just very competitive. Is that how it feels when you play?
Yes, it is. It is very competitive. Like I don't know how to explain it. Like if you lose, you get really mad. But if you win, you're happy.
I mean, yeah, it makes sense. It makes sense. All right, man. So I got a question for you. So how do you feel about your team competing in the previous few games that you guys have played, and how do you feel going into the Rocket League CSX, man?
What I feel about us in the previous games is that there's a lot to work on. Obviously, we didn't perform as well as we should have, but after I feel like after we put all that work in, it's going to be great. And then going to the RLCS, it's a big thing. It's actually the biggest prize pool of all time in Rocket League. I think it's 4.5 million and above in US dollars. So it's pretty crazy. I just can't wait to compete in it and compete up with all the big teams. So it's going to be very exciting.
Yeah, man, I can't wait to see what comes out of that game. All right, man, so another question going into the RLCS, man. What's something that you look to showcase to the folks that tune in and watch? So you guys looking to show your teamwork, your aggression, your defensive play style? What are you really looking to show?
Our aggression and our mechanical ability. When we have the ball, we keep like the ball on their side for quite a while. Like one time, I think we kept like the ball against a team because there's only 5 minutes a match, and we kept the ball on their side for more than half the game. It was like 3 minutes. So I think our aggression is really like dangerous to the opponents, and it's really interesting and fun to watch. So I think that's one thing that you can look forward to seeing us on.
Okay. And to basically follow that up, I asked the same question to Shock from the Gears of War team. Why should folks tune in and watch you guys compete in Rocket League, man?
Like I said, our mechanical ability. People usually there's a lot of players that can't do like what our teammates, like me and my teammates, can do. We can pretty much score for anyone in the field. I mean, there's a lot of RLCS players that could do that, but it's very interesting to watch what mechanical players do because they're flashy and they do crazy stuff in the air, maybe on the ground or anything like that. And that's what our team's all about.
Okay. Mechanical ability. That's what you bring to the party. That's what I'm talking about. All right, man. So this is the last question for you. If you had one thing that you could say to folks that are trying to reach this position in Rocket League or try to reach a new level in competing in Rocket League, what's one piece of advice that you will give to them?
Time and dedication, obviously.
Time and dedication.
If you don't have the time, there's obviously no need to go pro in any game.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be Rocket League. It can be like COD or anything like that. But if you don't have the time, like you're not gonna put any work, which is dedication. So you always have to put time and dedication to something that you want to become professional in.
Hey, man, without a doubt, man. You got to put that time in. All right, man. Well, hey, I appreciate you for joining today. I appreciate you for giving me your time. One last thing before you go. Can you plug your Twitter handle real quick for us?
It's BeastMode LK on Twitter.
All right. Too easy, man. All right. It was a pleasure.
Yes, very, very well-spoken young kid. It's awesome. I think right off the bat, I didn't even know he was 14 years of age. So, I mean, he speaks very professionally, without a doubt, right? So, I'm not going to ask the same question that I asked for Gears, but I do want to touch on a little bit. Was there anything different? And then, Alex, you can chime into as well. Was there anything different with signing a Rocket League team opposed to signing that Gears team?
With Rocket League, it's always going to be the same approach, whether it be an influencer, a content creator, staff, or a team. It's always going to be about building that relationship first. And you know, if you ask anybody that is a part of Kansas City Pioneers, what the first process was of, you know, them joining, they're always gonna say, you know, it was, you know, it started off with a relationship, you know, a friendship, and you know that builds, you know, trust. That builds everything that you need for somebody to feel stable coming into a business relationship with you. And so that's always the first thing. You know, the second thing was, you know, I wanted to do some research on these guys, you know, see what these guys are made of, you know, and see, you know, what they could bring to KCP, and not, like I said earlier, you know, not only in the game, but, you know, out of game as well, and, you know, how they're going to fit into our culture. And I don't think we could have got a better team to fit our culture here at Kansas City Pioneers and what our vision is. And so, you know, it was about a month and a half, maybe. It was about a month and a half process of, you know, building this relationship, you know, doing some research on these guys, making sure that they were the right fit for us and making sure we were the right fit for them. And so, you know, we eventually, you know, we were just like, hey, let's make it happen. You guys are going to be great with us. You guys are going to love it here. You guys are going to have fun. But at the end of the day, we're going to take care of business. And so, you know, it's been nothing but that. And I assume they love it here and we love them, you know, and so we just look forward to working with these guys and, you know, getting everything started.
Oh yeah, I'm very interested in tuning into some of the games on Rocket League 2 as well, because I'm not too fluent with Rocket League, so I'd also like to invest a little bit of my time in trying to figure that game out as well. Alex, do you have anything to add on to that, boss man?
Yeah, I think I'm going to come at it from a different perspective. So coming into, you know, the competitive scene, is very exciting, not only for ourselves as an org and then the players, but what drives the industry, right? It's the fans. Like, these pros can't play without fans at the end of the day, and the people watching and buying in-game, skins or whatever it is. And so it's so exciting to see, like, once we announced the teams, both teams, we started shooting up in followers. I think we gained like 2,200 followers or something crazy like that after we announced the teams, because these guys have been, have had fans, and these fans have been following their favorite pros or their favorite, rosters or whatever for years. And then they see us come into the scene, and they're automatically supporting us and the players themselves. And I think it's a beautiful thing. Speaking of, like, we're in Discord right now, and I saw, our Gears team is still grinding. Our Rocket League team just got off after hours of work, and it's so exciting to watch. And then flip that to the fan perspective now. Like, I don't know how many people have joined recently or hit us up on Twitter like, oh my god, I didn't even know we had a hometown team or even a regional team, right? Because a lot of people are from the Midwest, but there's no esports presence in the Midwest. And so, like, we're the closest thing they have to a real, team and that they can root for, an org they can get behind. So it's so exciting seeing it. Usually happens like at least once a day that people find out about us that they didn't even know we exist, and they've been watching professional esports for years now, and then they're like, yes, I finally have a team that I can root for, right? So I think that's a really exciting perspective. From the flip side, after we sign these orgs, that oftentimes gets pushed to the side.
And I see it every day. Every day I get onto the Discord. Both of these teams, they're just very active in the Discord, just like you said. Every time I get on, they're playing. Every time. It's really, really cool. All right, so last but not least, but it will be short and sweet, the Valorant team. LJ, what is the story behind these guys, man?
These guys are hands down just extremely humble and hungry individuals. And so with our Valorant division, we didn't go the pro level direction when we got into Valorant. So our guys are competing, at an amateur level, and we acquired them to get them accustomed to a more professional environment, because that is what we're building. With the signing of the Rocket League team and the Gears of War team, those guys are here to not only play for us and play under the Kansas City banner and bring championships here, but they're also here to rub off on the guys that aren't at that level yet. And so I think that our Valorant guys couldn't be in a better place or a better environment to get into that that professional level of in-game skill. Not only just that, but being a professional on social media, being a professional, having a professional schedule, scrimming schedule, and being on a professional basis. And so that's what we're trying to promote, and kind of get our Valorant team to I don't want to say understand, because they understand it and they're getting it done. It's a process, but it's something that they're trying to get accustomed to, and it's something that they want to do, and they support it, and we support them, and like we couldn't be happier to have those guys. So be looking out for those guys. They're gonna make it to the highest level that there is one day, no doubt. And it's just, like I said, it's all a process. We all have a process, for wherever we're going in life. And so this just happened to be their route, and so they're here to take that route, and they're working hard every day, and those guys are in tip-top shape. Those guys, they like I said, they're trying to be professionals, and they're already doing these things. It's crazy. They're never late to meetings. They're never late to anything. And so and it all starts there. The little things matter, and so they've got those down. And so like I said, be looking out for those guys.
That's what I'm talking about. I'm excited. I'm excited to also see the gameplay that comes from these guys, and then including the rest of the teams. I'm really excited to see all the recaps, the gameplays, the little clips, and everything that comes from when these guys are playing. It's going to be very exciting. Okay, so that's pretty much going to do it. And before we wrap up this episode, gentlemen, do you guys have any last things you'd like to say?
No. Go KCP. Be looking out for us in the RLCSX this season and the exclusive 16 team league that they're running as well, called the Grid. And then also be tuned for Gears Championships. I believe they start airing on July 28th of this month. So be checking those out.
All right. Alex, what you got, boss?
I think LJ hit the nail on the head. We've got some very exciting competitions coming up. Gears finishing off their season, and then the Rocket League guys just starting, and then the Valorant guys will continue to compete for us. And I think there's a lot of there's never-ending content at KCP, right? You got pro teams, you got content creators and streamers. Like there's something always happening over here, and we couldn't be more happy to have the teams that we have. And then the players who represent the teams themselves. I think it's an amazing gift for us. So we're super pumped to watch them compete.
Yes, without a doubt. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that is going to do it for today's episode of the Kansas City Pioneers podcast. Remember, #KCP, #MyCity. We hope you guys enjoyed this episode, and we will be seeing you guys in the next one.